welcome to the 2023 Maxxis Eastern States Cup presented by Kate's Real Food. Today we're going to go over the do's, the don'ts, the how-tos, and the procedures that surround the Stands Enduro series. So once you arrive on site at any of the venues, whether you're pre-registered or you're registering on site, you're going to want to find our Maxxis Eastern States Cup registration tent area. Now we are very visible and easy to find. Usually have about 9 10 by 10 easy ups all clustered into one big square. Very visible. Usually see a lot of people hanging out there anyways. Super easy to find. Come find us, fill out the appropriate paperwork, hand it off to one of our officials there, and we'll get you set up with your 2023 race plate, as well as a timing chip and a wrist strap. So very important to know that once we hand these timing chips and wrist straps over to you, it is your responsibility to take care of them. Do not lose them. If for some reason you come in a group and you think you've mixed them up, come on over, see me. I'll make sure you guys all have the right chip assigned to the right person. But like I said, make sure you take care of these. These are $100 each. Want to make sure we get them back at the end of each weekend. Now it's time to go over a few important do's and don'ts revolving around Saturday's practice session. So now that brings us to race day on Sunday. Make sure you took note of what time the mandatory racers meeting will be on Sunday morning. We'll go over a lot of important information on that. Sometimes we have certain things that change throughout the weekend, and we need to make sure we relay that information to all our racers. So at the conclusion of the racers meeting, I will have your category start times by class. Make sure you take note of that. That is the time that we're going to activate this chip that I handed you on Saturday. Very important that you get this chip activated, because if you go up the hill and start your race before it gets activated, you're going to have a bad day. So make sure you take note of that. When your class time is coming, I'll have the PA system. I'll say, hey, 3039 class, line up. Hand this chip off to one of our officials. They will put it through a series of keys, turns it on, activates it, makes sure everything's all good. And we'll go ahead, send you on your way up to start of stage number 1. So after you've gotten the okay from one of our officials to go ahead and make your way up to the start of stage number 1, you'll find yourself in a situation like this here in front of our stage start banner. Now this is going to be your physical starting point for the race. However, this is not where your time starts. As I indicated in the do's and don'ts during practice time, you start here. You do not start 10, 15, 20 yards back up there to get a hot start. You can be here. You can be stationary, ready to go. Up the trail about 15, 20 feet, there will be the actual timing box, which is located underneath the stands, no tubes flags. Important note also, make sure that you have this chip on your right wrist and you do not have any sort of smart watch on that same wrist. Same goes for any sort of bar mounted lights for our night enduro or your GPS units that you might be running on there. Some of those do not have their batteries insulated very well and cause interference with the signals. We do not want that. Please place those into your backpack or a pocket. Okay, so demonstration time. Timing chip on the right wrist has been activated by one of our officials down at the base. Stationary next to the start banner. You can see the stands no tube flag just ahead where the actual timing beacon is. Quick note also, make sure that you do not go anywhere near that timing beacon unless you are actually racing. Stay far away or else your timing chip will be activated and your time will run. Stay away from that. So, very simple demonstration. Pretend I'm on a bike, ready to go. Like this. So you heard that audible beep a few times as I went past the timing beacon, just like this. That means your time has started and you are able to go, get on the gas, fly on down the hill. Similar setup for our finish line. You can see we do have our finish banner right there. And we also have another stands no tubes flag right here on the right hand side. Similar procedure as you're finishing your race run, fly on past that. And you see, activates your chip once more. That's how you know you're done with that stage. Very important here. I know a lot of people like riding together. You're waiting for your buddies down at the bottom. Please make sure you stay far away from the transponder beacon. If I were to just stand here, see my chip just keeps blinking and blinking and blinking. That means it's racking up data. Once that data received exceeds the amount of memory on that timing chip, you will no longer be able to receive any more chips throughout the race. So there's plenty of memory on these chips to get you through the entire race, as long as you do not stand near those beacons, racking up time punch after time punch. So overall, a very simple situation. Start at the flags, fly past the beacon, your time starts. At the finish line, fly past the flag, fly past the beacon, your time is done. Your time is locked in. Just make sure you stay away from those beacons unless you are actively racing. Now at the conclusion of your race, say you've done all your stages, you need to make sure you bring this chip back to myself or whoever happens to be stationed at the registration area. This chip holds all your time data. You hand it over to me. I'm going to take a quick look at all the information on it. I'm going to say you're all good to go. We're going to send you over to our race trailer. We'll have a giant TV monitor, and from there you'll get a breakdown of all your stages individually, as well as your total overall time within your class. Anyone else that's turned in their chip will also be listed on there, so you automatically know where you stand throughout the race. So if for some reason you need to leave due to medical or mechanical problem, please try to make sure you get these chips back to us. They do have a limited battery life on them, and we need to use a special key to turn them off. If you take off on the race weekend with this chip still activated, chances are the battery is going to die and you'll be on the hook for the cost of replacement. I don't want that. I just want our chips back. I want everybody to have a good time. So please make sure you get those back to us.